I would now like to cover dealer plates and interim plates. It is very important for you to know how to use your dealer plates and interim plates correctly. Every Indiana dealer must comply with dealer plate and interim plate regulations, and I want to show you how to legally use your dealer plates and your interim plates right now. There is a big difference between a dealer plate and an interim plate, so you definitely need to know the difference between the two. A dealer plate is used for vehicle test drives and vehicle transportation. You're going to use a dealer plate on vehicles in your inventory that have not yet been sold. You're going to place an interim plate only on vehicles sold by your dealership. So once again, you're going to place a dealer plate on vehicles that are in your inventory. You will place an interim plate only on a vehicle that was sold by your dealership. So first, let's talk about the lawful and legal use of a dealer plate. Dealer plates can only be placed on cars or vehicles that are in your inventory. You may place a dealer plate on a loaner so long as the car is in your inventory. If you have a service customer, you can let them take one of your vehicles, but they may not be in possession of a car with a dealer plate for more than 10 days. You may allow a prospective buyer to use a vehicle with a dealer plate, but they may not be in possession of that plate for more than 10 days. So you're going to place a dealer plate on a vehicle when a customer is test driving a vehicle, and you're going to use them when you're transporting vehicles back and forth from a dealer auction. You can loan a vehicle with a dealer plate. Let's say, for example, if you're repairing a customer vehicle, you could loan them a vehicle that is in your inventory with a dealer plate while you're repairing the customer's vehicle. You can never allow a customer to have a dealer plate more than 10 days. I never recommend allowing a customer to even take a vehicle overnight. I recommend asking the customer to bring the vehicle back after a short test drive. But please remember, you can never allow a customer to take a dealer plate vehicle for more than 10 days. That is Indiana law. Now let's talk about unlawful use of a dealer plate. A dealer plate may never be placed on a vehicle that is not part of your inventory. You could not, for example, place a dealer plate on your brother-in-law's car that he just purchased, and you can never use it to circumvent registration, sales tax, or excise tax payment. You're never allowed to use a dealer plate with the sole intent of avoiding the payment of sales tax. In my in-class training seminars, I've often been asked questions like, can I use my dealer's license to buy a Corvette at a dealer auction, place a dealer plate on it, drive that Corvette for 3 or 4 years on a dealer plate, and then sell it? No, absolutely not. That would be using a dealer plate to avoid paying sales tax on a vehicle you're driving. The state wants you to use a dealer's license and your dealer plates to make money selling multiple vehicles, never just to avoid paying sales tax on some beautiful car you're driving. Placed on rental vehicles. If you're renting vehicles, you would need to pay sales tax on those vehicles. You can never place a dealer plate on a vehicle that you're renting. You can never place a dealer plate on a commercial vehicle that you're providing a service. For example, you can never place a dealer plate like on a 3/4 ton truck with a snow blade and start a snow removal company. If you want to push snow in a truck and get paid, you must pay sales tax on that truck. You cannot place a dealer plate on a vehicle that someone is paying you for a service. Dealer plates may not be loaned, leased, transferred, copied, altered, or reproduced. Lost or stolen dealer plates. If you ever get a dealer plate lost or stolen, you can report that through the dealer portal. You'll just select plate inventory, stolen, and you need to have a police report submitted as well. Damaged dealer plates. You can report a plate as damaged through the dealer portal as well. You'll just select plate inventory from the self-service menu, and you must return the damaged plate to the dealer services office in order to be issued a replacement plate. Ordering additional plates. You can request an increase in your interim or dealer plate limit using the dealer portal. I want you to be aware, if you do request an increase in your dealer plate limit, that can trigger an audit, so please do keep that in mind. Here you see an application for increase in dealer license plate limit form 56140, so you need to submit this if you are requesting more dealer plates. Here's another form you need to be aware of. This is called the Dealer Designee Assignment State Form 56287. If you are allowing an employee to use your vehicle in your inventory on a dealer plate, you must submit Indiana State Form 56287, as you see here. And I want you to be aware, that plate cannot be assigned to that vehicle that employee is using for more than 180 days. So maybe you've got a sales manager or something like that using a vehicle that you got a dealer plate on. Remember, you've got to complete SF 56287, and that can never be for a period of more than 180 days. I want you to be aware of this very important information. Dealer plates are property of the Secretary of State's office and must be returned when you cease operating. Hopefully you'll never cease operating, but if you ever close your business or maybe decide not to renew your license, all dealer plates are property of the Secretary of State's office, and at that point they must be returned. We just discussed the legal use of your dealer plates. Now let's talk about the legal use of your interim plates. Interim plates can only be issued at the time of the sale, so they have to match the date on your bill of sale. If a vehicle is not delivered as the same day as the sale, you cannot wait until the delivery day to issue the plate. You must issue the plate on the actual day of the sale, even if you're delivering the vehicle at a later time. You can only issue one interim plate per sale. I want to repeat that. You may only issue one interim plate per sale. Interim plates may not be altered. They may not be placed on vehicles that are owned by your dealership or that are held in the inventory. Remember, you would place a dealer plate on your inventory that's not sold. They may not be placed on vehicles that are sold on consignment. Let's talk about reprinting interim plates. There really are only a few scenarios when you would be allowed to reprint an interim plate. If the customer comes back and says their plate was lost or damaged, etc., you may reprint the interim plate that was initially issued. If the customer wants to transfer the license plate from their old card, you need to check the expiration date. If it will expire within 45 days, go ahead and issue the customer an interim plate. You will not be allowed to issue a plate after the date of the sale. If you made a mistake issuing the plate, you do have 72 hours to go back and correct any mistakes and reprint the interim plate for the customer. You'll need to definitely write void on the first plate in large bold letters and put the voided interim plate in your deal jacket so you'll never have too much paperwork. When you print the new plate, put the reason for the second issuance in the comments section of the dealer portal. Requesting additional interim plates. You can request an increase in your interim plate limit through the dealer portal. Just remember that if you do this, you may trigger an audit of your interim plate records. So please do keep that in mind. I want to remind you, you can place an interim plate on the license plate frame of the vehicle you've sold, or you may place it in the window of the vehicle that you've sold facing rearward. A dealer license plate can only be placed on the license plate frame of a vehicle that's being held in your inventory. So please be aware, there's a big difference between a dealer plate and an interim plate. A dealer plate is used only on vehicles in your inventory that are for sale. They're going to be used by customers that are test driving your vehicles, and you'll use them for transportation purposes. Say, for example, when you're driving a vehicle you purchased at a dealer auction back to your dealership. Or maybe you've taken a trade-in, and you can place a dealer plate on the trade-in and take it back to the dealer auction. Remember, you cannot place a dealer plate on a vehicle that's being used for commercial purposes, and you cannot use a dealer plate with the sole intent of avoiding the payment of sales tax. And here you see an interim plate that will be issued on a vehicle you have sold. You cannot issue an interim plate to a vehicle that was not sold by your dealership, and you can never issue an interim plate to a vehicle that's still part of your inventory. So to review this information, you can go to indiana.dealerslicense.com and click on the videos link, and then you'll easily be able to scroll down and view the video that's titled How to Use Dealer and Interim Plates. Once again, I hope that you're finding this information very beneficial.